Welcome back to part 2. Um, I was planning on releasing a video like this at the end of the week, but I have already come to a conclusion. I have tried both of these specs in Mythic Plus, dungeons varying from plus 15 to plus 21. And I have also done some testing on the training dummies, which I'm gonna show you. That's the big part of this video. Another long one, sorry for that. But yeah, I've come to a conclusion which build I'm gonna go with. Fun factor, it's super fun. The other is just it just drains my soul away. And say what you wanna say, I do more damage. I do more damage with the fun spec, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Spoilers. But I did wanna show, I don't have any footage yet from inside of a dungeon. But I do have footage from me showing some stuff on the training dummy. Yeah, I did this right after going through a few rounds. I did have some bad luck playing with people who died once and then they just rage quit and just broke my key. I had a plus 22 key, now I have a plus 19 key. You know, it's not a big deal in a way. It's just like, I think you understand. It's not fun when you're playing pugging and people are just randomly leaving or whatever, and it's your key that keeps getting broken, you know, time and time again. I was in Temple of the Jade Serpent and it happened 3 times in a row within 30 minutes. So that's not very fun. So just bear in mind, that's the state of mind I'm in when I'm recording this. I hope you understand. I'm not awful or terrible, I'm just a little bit agitated, to say the least. But so far so good. I'm loving the new zone. It is massive. I'm loving the new little city slash town. This is where I have my Hearthstone now, because it's so much more cozy and nice than Valdrakken. I like Valdrakken, but it doesn't compare. This is my jam. Small town vibes with coziness and friendly people.
Are you still there?
Yes, please. Alright, well, let's get straight into it. While I wait here for Floressa to cook up some veggies on this beautiful massive frying pan over here. And yeah, let's get straight into it. Alright, so 10.1 is now live, as everybody knows, and finally I can test some stuff properly. I'm gonna show some stuff on the dummies here as well. And just talk about my experience. I tried both builds that I showed in the previous video on well, in some Mythic Plus dungeons, ranging from Mythic plus 15 keys all the way up to 21. Mind you, I tried the first spec, the Rattle spec with the Fury of Elune. I did that on the higher keys, and then after, you know, being the victim of pug life, and people just rage quitting and leaving after one wipe on Temple of the Jade Serpent, my key got broken down, as well as my motivation. And just in that moment, one of my friends was like, "Yo, you wanna play some low keys, and it's a really cool person, super fun. So I did that, and then I decided to, well, I kept playing with the Rattle and Fury of Balloon build, and you know, it's like on 15 plus 15 or lower keys, it's like, well, yeah, welcome back to Moonkin not being able to do damage because everything dies so quickly. I also had experience with that Spec, like, I don't know, like, I know I did mistakes because I have the muscle memory left from always just spamming Wrath without ever thinking about, you know, anything, and now we have to sync our 2 Starfires so that we go back into Solar Eclipse. So, you know, I did some of those mistakes. I was also very demotivated, and to be honest, I also think that some part of, I mean, it wasn't going very well damage wise. I mean, sometimes it was, but sometimes it wasn't. So there was that. Definitely influenced by how extremely boring the AoE rotation is now. If you play with Rattle and Fury of Balloon. Basically, you have to keep up Fury of Balloon all the time, because otherwise you're not gonna do any damage. Or if you do, it's completely random. The problem I have with the new way they have designed it, you know, is that too much of our damage is hidden behind the procs. Right? Like the difference between like if you for Star Surge, for example, like if you have a normal hit with Star Surge and a normal hit from Power of a Gold Ring, you know, that's one, it's like it varies too much, because the power you can have a normal hit with Star Surge and a crit with Power of Gold Ring, or you can have a crit with the Star Surge and a normal hit with the Power of Gold Ring, or you can just have a normal hit of Star Surge and not even get a proc of Power of Gold Ring. You know what I'm saying? Also, I noticed a massive difference in AoE, especially in faster paced keys, like the lower keys, or in certain dungeons where it's just fast because people are pumping. It's hard to keep up. I felt that at least. Because there's a massive difference in the amount of damage that you do. Like if you don't have any Friend of the Fae up, you feel it when you get the Friend of the Fae buff. You feel it and you see it on the health bars of the enemy mobs, right? Also, it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get Smolder, right? And even if you get a crit and get Smolder on one mob, the splash damage might not crit. And you won't get a crit on every single mob just because you crit on your main target. That's not how it works. You can get a normal hit with a Starfire, and then maybe the splash damage crits, and then that splash damage is then putting on a Smolder, or the other way around. So that's 16. Like, sometimes you're just unlucky and you're not getting your Smolder up, but you gotta keep doing your rotation in any ways, right? But you're losing so much damage, and it feels really bad. Like, I have to be honest, it feels so bad, because you're doing everything perfectly. I mean, even if you are doing everything perfectly, that's just RNG, right? So I have 8% flat damage increase with the Smolder if you have it up, and if you don't, well, tough luck. And then you have the 8% from the Friend of the Fae, right? Which is also like, well, you got Smolder on 3 of the mobs in this pool of 10. and you didn't get any Friend of the Fae. Well, tough luck. And people are like, oh, you do so bad damage. It's like, yeah, well, it's not, it's like, you know, before I felt like if you did great damage as a Moonkin, you could feel good about yourself, because it wasn't easy, right? You could take full credit for that. Now it's like, you do good damage, you do bad damage. Well, I feel like Shaggy, you know? Like, it wasn't me. And that doesn't feel good at all. To me. So I was like feeling really demotivated. I was like, fuck it, let's just go. I was told my friend, I was like, okay, this sucks. I was like, I'm sorry for complaining, but I have to just get this out. I basically said the same thing like I did in this video. I mean, this is my opinion, right? And there are probably people who like Moonkin more now than they did before, you know. I don't know, but there probably are people who feel that way. For me personally, I don't. Not with the way that has been changed. I did some sims. The sim for that rattle build with Fury Balloon simmed with my gear, which was upgraded, by the way, as you might have noticed yourself if you have logged in yesterday or today. So every crafted gear is now for 21, which is, you know, okay. Why not? Anyways, oh yeah, and I got some new boots in my vault, so now I have 418. Yeah, we're getting somewhere. But yeah, that build, the Rattle Fury Overloom build, I seem like 81.3k, 81,300-ish DPS. And I simmed the other build with the new moon and Starweaver, and it seemed lower. It seemed like 78,500, something like that. So, I mean, that's quite a lot. According to the sim, is 3,000 damage per second less. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know if I care, to be honest. Because the Rattle build just feels so bad. Like, it's not engaging, it's too random. It's like the rotation is so simple now that it's like boring. And you have too much damage hidden behind these procs that you can do absolutely nothing about. It has nothing to do with your skill level. It has nothing to do with if you did a good job or not. It's just random damage. They're like, yeah, okay. I mean, if I get like a good score on a dungeon, I wanna be able to say, yeah, I did that. But with this, I don't feel like I could. How could I? It's just RNG. Too much damage is RNG. I mean, if you don't have Waning Twilight on all the mobs, and you don't have the Friend of the Fae, that's 16% damage. That's a lot of damage. And in an AoE situation, that's hundreds of thousands of damage. It's a lot. So, yeah, I'm not happy about that at all. I'm not gonna play that ever again. That was not fun at all. So, I switched to the New Moon build anyways, and I'm like giving the finger to the sims. I don't give a shit if it seems higher, to be honest. Because me personally, I play better, I do more damage with the New Moon build than with the other one. So And I have big part of that is, well, it's less RNG. It's more active gameplay. Yes, there's still the thing with the crits and whatever and blah blah blah, but you have to actually make decisions and stuff. Still an issue with, I'm still having an issue with this whole smolder thing. You know what, it's like, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go back to smolder and life will be great, but sad truth is that you do less damage. I tried. You do less damage. I don't know how, but at least I tried. We're gonna try here on the dummies as well and see. Hopefully I prove myself wrong, but it's like, I don't know, man. It just feels bad. I know part of it is also because the 4 set has been nerfed like a lot. Now the cost is 5 less astral power. It was for free before, and the damage increased by 20%. It was 35. That's a massive difference. I don't know, man. But on the positive side, the new moon build was very fun, very engaging, giving me something to do, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I am one of the Moonkin players that liked to play with Stellar Flare. I like to have that level of difficulty and having to, make decisions and plan. I don't want to just like put my dot up and then just press one button to get my starfall and then I do next button and just starfire and that's it. That's not fun. If I want to play like that, I can just download a game on my phone and start playing mobile games. Start playing one of these role-playing games that plays themselves, like idle gameplay. Yeah, great. I'm not one of those. I mean, yeah. That's the way I feel about it. I hope they do something about that. Anyways, so here, like, it's more or less the same. I've done 90 something ish before this patch overall damage. This is from No Code Offensive. I know I can probably do more damage now with this build. I just need to practice more with it because it's very different from what I'm used to. It's well, not very different, but it's quite different. Also need to start getting into the habit of actually going into solar eclipse, which I tend to miss a lot. Normal, I guess, because that's the way we've been playing the game. But I just wanted to show you. Let's look at the overall here. So this is the overall from that dungeon. This was a plus 17, so things weren't falling over that fast. So at least I could ramp and do some damage. But you see, full moon. I mean, I got into kind of a flow, even though I was making quite a lot of mistakes. I noticed the mistakes, so I know what I need to work on, so that's fine. But I got into a nice flow, and I have to say, like, I don't see the problem with casting full moon in Mythic Plus either. But then again, I am a Moonkin player, like I said, who didn't see a problem with casting Stellar Flare before, which the majority of people did, and that's why we have these changes. Some are nice, welcome. Like I take definitely the buffs for Star Search and Power Goldring. Thank you very much. I like that. I also like the Radiant Moonlight change. Very nice. I like that because that actually makes this possible. Before you got the new moon, half moon, and full moon, and then full moon once more, resetting to full moon before going back to new moon. Now it gives a damage bonus to all of them. That wasn't the case before, so yes, that was very nice. I like that. I do like the smolder thing too. I mean, it was kind of like a weird talent. I would take 1 point in this in a raid and it would increase my single target damage, and that was cool. You know, more damage, nice. This, I'm not a fan of this. It's too much damage hidden behind a random proc that you do absolutely nothing about, that you can't control whatsoever. I'm not a fan of that at all. You know, and the changes to Stellar Flare is like, I mean, fine if you wanna do. I don't know what they're thinking here, to be honest. Why not make this into one talent? Or just have Wild Surges here, and instead of this weird talent, Stellar Innovation, which is just a shitty talent, put Stellar Flare here instead or something. Give us the option to take both. Anyways, those were some thoughts, mostly complaints. But yeah, look at the full moon here. So maximum hit 334k. That's in AoE. So that's it does hit harder on the target you have. On the mob that you are targeting, but it does splash damage as well. And yeah, one thing I did notice, however, this is one of the things where I'm like, damn. This is still a little bit cringe, because you're missing out on the waning twilight on everything if you don't have, you know, it's like I even feel bad about casting a full moon if I don't have the waning twilight. Now I did find a way to make it easier. So in the previous, well, easier to get more damage, or to try to get more damage. So in the previous video I said you go into your double eclipse, you dump your astral power, and you then go into your full moon thing. After trying this a little bit in Mythic Plus, and you really don't want to fall behind, I did notice that a better way to do it, to ensure that you get more damage, you have more DPS basically, you get your damage out faster, is when you get into the eclipse first, you really wanna get Smolder. And if you're in an AoE situation, let's say the tank pulls 7 mobs or something, like in No Code, 7 mobs, and you're going you dot Moonfire and a Sunfire, so everybody has a dot, and you go into the eclipse. You dump your astral power, and then before casting your full moon, you wanna cast Starfire so that you can get some smolder going before. Otherwise, you're gonna lose out on that damage anyways. And keep in mind also that the smolder, when it triggers, so you have the waning twilight, that damage buff is also to the ticks of your dots, not only to the full moons and stuff. So that's one thing. Like if you go into the eclipse and everything, if you're in a maybe you've gone through your rotation twice because the mobs are taking some time dying, like this week, when they have more HP and do more damage. You might go into the eclipse and you might not even have Smolder on any of the targets, so you don't have Waning Twilight anywhere. In that case, Starfire until you get Smolder on your targets, and then Full Moon, you know. So you have to like compromise a bit, and sometimes just cast your Full Moon even in a lunar eclipse. Also because of movement and stuff, because I mean, let's be honest, we're not standing still just casting without being just you know, we're not standing still without being interrupted or like when we're on the training dummy. So at least be in an eclipse, preferably in Pulsar or Incarnation. But Smolder, I hate having to wait for something that might not happen. Like you have to get the crit for that to happen. It's like, give me a break. I don't know. I'm a little bit salty today. But okay, so first of all, because now we can actually check this out. So we're gonna go into the other build, the build that should not be named. We're gonna do a little bit of rotation here and look at the numbers, and then we're gonna go into the other one and do the same. So let's begin with this one, see what happens. Nope. My bad. Now you're like, well, you have Smolder on everything. Yes. But I also have my Void Gem in a macro together with my Incarnation. So every time I go into Incarnation, most of the time, here I am trying to speak and do damage at the same time again. Most of the time, especially on the pull like that, I use my Void Gem trinket together with my Incarnation. That's why I get Smolder on all the targets. And I can tell you for a fact, this is not gonna be this smooth. Especially if you're going into Mythic Plus and like no code, like the first mobs, the archers, the people that charge you, you have to run around, you have to run away, you have quaking, and then you have thundering. You don't have time to have this type of uptime, unfortunately. So I mean, I'm gonna have to try and go. I mean, it's like if my intuition tells me I should go back to Stellar Flare. But that's also the thing. It's like I don't know if it's gonna be worth it after they nerfed it. You know. Now I'm basically just pressing Starfire and Starfall, and then, you know, a Wrath 2 wraths to get back, and then Starfall and Starfire is extremely boring. Well, it's around that damage. Oh. I'm negative today.
So beautiful.
But there's also some truth to it. Okay, let's see if we can get out of combat here. Oh, great. Like, how far do I have to run? You know what, guys? I'm just gonna cut here and cut back when I'm out of combat, because this is... yeah. Alright, we're back. I've had massive technical issues, lag, whatever is going on, I have no idea, but there's been resistance. Let's just call it that. But here we are, Starweaver, new moon build. I'm gonna pray to the gods that this is not gonna get wasted again. My patience is being tested today by all of the technology. But yeah, this is the thing. So let's see what we can do here, and I pray to the Lord. Yeah, this is where things went wrong. Like I do believe I had those buffs at least. And this is such a mess. I do apologize. I'm just like about to dissolve over here. Oh, look, I press. Okay, we're gonna do this. It's so laggy today. I just pressed the mob's nameplate and the instant reaction from the game is to start lagging. Jesus. Yeah, Veldraken, right? I hope this helps. Load everything, please. Now, I'm just gonna take a lap, like, let's just load everything. It's too much. This is 2023, this isn't supposed to happen, Blizzard. Do something about your game. Alright, now praying to gods again. And I'm so tired of this now. Okay, here we go. And I got distracted by these circles. I'm like, don't stand in the circles. That's called PTSD from Mythic Plus. But yeah, I mean, you can already see it's doing way more damage. It will go down a little bit. Unless I get really lucky. I will keep going for a bit, so we can see. And now my damage meter. You know, I'm really sorry about this, guys. Let's go for the overall one. I've done this test many times. The average is 240k. Okay, so it's like 20k difference I'm really sorry, but I don't have patience for this anymore. This is like, first my microphone started making buzzing noises and everything went to shit. So a 30-minute recording, the original one, I had to delete it because I just can't. But I can't put that up on YouTube. No, but it was such a weird noise, and it was like buzzing, humming in your ear. It was extremely irritating to listen to, so I had to delete that. Then you know, things were lagging like in the beginning of this clip, so I just couldn't even do damage. And you know, it's just one thing after the other with this recording. I don't know why or how or what's going on today, but I've had enough. I had enough for one day. But yeah, the thing is, in Mythic Plus I did more damage with this spec. It is way more fun, way more rewarding. I feel like I'm in charge of the damage I do, as opposed to the other spec where it feels like the RNG gods is in charge of the damage I do, and I just press 2 buttons, which is extremely boring, and it feels like shit. Because you can't fully take credit for when you do good damage, and you can't take the blame fully for doing poor damage. It's just idle gameplay at that point. It's extremely boring. So thank the Lord with this spec, the New Moon Starweaver spec, I am doing more damage, I am having more fun. This is what I'm going with. The Sims is saying a 3k damage loss with this build. I don't care. This is what I'm running with, and yeah, that's all I have. Like, when on the dummies I do more damage even when standing still. There's a slight damage loss in single target. That might be where the Sims are correct. Was surprising to me, but overall damage, especially for Mythic Plus, this is the spec. Yeah. So now I'm gonna go away from my computer and remember that there are more things in life, because I've had it with these technical issues for today. I wish you guys a lovely day. There's sunshine here. It's a beautiful day. Spring is full on, and you know, summer is on the horizon for all of us. I generally feel good. I haven't felt this good in a long time, personally. It's just like with this thing, with the technical stuff, I'm about to, you know, introduce my system here to the axe. So yeah, well, that's about it. I hope you guys have a good one, and now you know. If you have any builds or anything that you want me to try out and see and give some feedback or whatever, I'm not a professional, but if you want me to, I'll do it. Just, you know, send me a link of your build from Wowhead or something like that, and I'll take a look at it, and if you want, you know, maybe make a video. That could be fun. I'll give my thoughts about it, and we can do some training dummy stuff and stuff. But yeah, have a good one. Ciao.